All right, here we go. It is April. We missed April Fool's Day by a couple of days, but we're April 3rd. So I don't have any scary April Fool's jokes for you guys. I I think everybody's taken a beating enough, so we should be all good. All right. Anybody got anything you want me to start off with? Any questions? Any?
I
Yes,
I do.
I do.
All right, Jill, go ahead.
I have, let me just shut this door. I have a question about the video generator. Um, yeah, I've been working with it all week. There's a couple of weird things I was struggling with. I was struggling with saving it and then putting it on social media and it would expire, but I think I got it.
Okay.
So do I that and then
When you saved it, it puts it in a file vault, right?
yeah, like a URL. I couldn't find that. I got
Okay.
the vault. I found the vault.
Yeah, if you find the vault, you can go in the vault and then you can download your videos from there. And then what you want to do, you want to download it to your desktop or your computer. And then from there, you can upload it to your social media accounts or, you put it YouTube and then use the URL from it.
It's on YouTube.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I was excited about that. And then one more question before I let you go. The 3D, that I can't remember the name of it, but it was the 3D one. I put in what I wanted, but it sent me a description, no images.
Okay, 3D. Are you talking about 3D benefits?
I can go and look. Um,
Because there's one in there that's called three-dimensional benefits, three-dimensionalize your benefits, but that's not an image tool.
okay, so which one is the image tool?
There's actually a bunch of image tools. There's some
Okay.
that'll do 3D book covers.
I use that one.
That I think that's the only one that says 3D as far as image images.
Okay.
One of the things we have noticed, like whenever you're trying to do anything that has to do with text in AI, it's not perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the text will be wrong or what have you. But we have noticed that it has inherently trouble with text. And we've tried multiple different vendors for platforms to actually use because we reference a bunch of different AI programs to do all of our stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we keep changing vendors too. You'll notice sometimes things might look a little bit different. It's
Right.
because we keep trying to get the best of the best and
Well, I used your press release program and I like it better than chat. I actually am
oh
glad
yeah.
I did not uh, submit my previous one. Craig had approved it, but I sent Craig both of them to see the difference. I like the way your program did it much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, the thing with what the all these tools, like all the quantum AI tools, what they are, they're GPTs. So
Okay.
you could create GPTs to do pretty much anything you want to do. But the thing with mine is I've done the prompting for it. Like I did the prompting for the press release. And
Hmm.
it's a long prompt. It's multiple pages of prompting. That's where most people, I'm not going to say they're lazy. They just don't really know how to talk to the AI yet.
Yeah, I
And the
think
prompt,
that's my problem. Yeah.
yeah, you have to really give it a lot of instructions. It's like AI is like the perfect employee, but it's like they can know anything, but they don't know anything.
Right, right. That
And
makes sense.
until you instruct them what you want, and if you're vague on the instruction, they're going to be vague on the response. It's it's
Mhm,
like
mhm.
it's like they're really it's a really lazy employee.
I'm just
It'll
blown away by it. I've been working with it all week. I'm
but
having a little trouble sometimes. Like I go to upload a picture and it's like I can't click on it, but I don't think that's your program. I think it's just the way I have it saved on my computer.
could be, could be.
Yeah.
But one of the things, like I learned this really early on when I started prompting and learning prompting and really got into it. And it's hilarious because you can't do this in real life, although you want to. You
Mhm,
can't be rude to your employees, right? You can't be like totally demanding or, you'll get slapped with a lawsuit.
mhm. Right.
Well, with the AI, you can absolutely, like, you can insult them, you can treat them like crap, and they just do a better job for it. It's awesome.
I love that. That's
It's
so
like,
funny.
have you ever had somebody where they did something just really stupid and you just really wanted to say, really? And you just can't.
Mhm.
People are fragile, but the AI, like, it'll do something that's pretty good, and I'll look at it and I'll go back and I'll say, like, I'm really disappointed with you. I thought you were better than that.
Right.
And I swear it comes back and it apologizes. It says, "Oh my God, I know, I get it. I'm sorry. Let me try again. I'll do better, I promise." And then it kicks out phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal results. It's awesome.
I love that. Now that you're saying that, like how you can prompt the words with the images when it regenerates in the video, I
Uh-huh.
wanted to give it detail. Like
Okay.
generate an image that's this, and I couldn't do the detail of that.
Yeah. So one of the words that I've found for that is hyper realistic.
Hyper realistic. Okay.
Hyper realistic, photorealistic. Those two instruct it that you want great detail. It understands those words.
Okay.
And another thing too, I should probably do this. I'd never thought about this before, but I do it all the time. Like, I use Perplexity a lot for a lot of my daily chores and work. I love Perplexity way over ChatGPT.
Okay.
ChatGPT, I think, it's kind of a generic tool for everybody, where
Hmm.
Perplexity is a little more geared toward business. So in Perplexity, what I'll do is, a lot of times, I like sometimes I'm really creative. Like, sometimes late at night I can just get in a groove and I can do my thing. But a lot of times, like, I need an image and I'm sitting there and I'm in, like, I don't know what they call it, a creative rut. And I
Hmm.
just can't get to it. So I'll go to Perplexity and I'll say, "Hey, I need an image created. I'm having trouble with the prompt. Can you help me out?" And it'll write a really detailed prompt. I go plug it into, like, the Act Imager in Quantum, and then it spits out a beautiful image for me.
Oh, okay. So act imager. Okay.
So what I was thinking, I mean, literally just now, I'm like, I could literally make a tool inside Quantum that could create you image prompts.
Hmm. Hmm.
That would probably be really helpful.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
So yeah, really, really cool. I totally love AI. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah, I felt like this all week. I'm just blown away. I'm like, why didn't I join this sooner? No,
Yeah,
this is great.
AI has just been a phenomenal game changer on so many levels. Like, I always need graphics, always. Like, every time I turn around, I'm like, "Oh, I could, if only I had an image for that, or if only I
Hmm.
had a little 2-minute video for that." But I just hate the idea of going to Fiverr and hiring somebody and the whole back and forth to get what you want. It's just such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, yeah,
And now, when I've got Quantum up, I'm like, I think, "Oh, I need an image." And then, 30 seconds later, I've got an image in my hand. It's totally a game changer.
yeah,
Or video. I mean, to be able to put in a URL and have a video spit out the other end that's pretty damn good. And then if it's not perfect, you just edit it a little bit.
yeah. Just said it. And I just want to make sure I am buying them. The 6.99. I'm buying 1,000 each time, 1,000 points. That's right to be doing that.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Some of the tools, most of the tools in there are still free because they don't
Right.
cost us a lot. But like image generation and also the voiceover tool, if you're or not the voiceover, I think the voiceover is still free, but the one where it's making you an audio book, that thing chews up a lot of AI credits, in our API. So those kind of tools, just to make sure we don't lose our shorts, we've got to put credit systems in place for those.
Yeah. And
But
they're reasonable.
yeah, yeah, the credits are really cheap. I mean, you can get 20,000 credits for I think $89 or something. And that will go a long, long way.
Yeah, the thousand credits went a long way for me.
Yeah, yeah, because I think it only charged you like 50 for a video.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
50. And then you edit it and there's some points, but yeah,
yeah.
it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Pam, go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Good to see you. I missed you last week. Sorry. In fact, that's my question. I was looking for that video to watch the replay, but I didn't see it on the list on YouTube. I
Oh,
didn't see
this this was last week's?
last week's nor the one from
Because I know there was
Brady.
there was the one with Brady, and I'm not sure. I don't know if he ever found it. I think he had it recorded to his computer, and he was thinking it was recorded to the cloud, but I said no, it's definitely not in the cloud because there's no room for storage in the cloud. So I
Yeah.
always record to my computer and then upload them. Um, I'll have to look and see because I know I recorded last week's. Sometimes I get sidetracked and forget to upload them.
I'm sure you're very, very busy. Um, and I actually use the video creator every single week, and it takes at least 2 or 3 goes. And because I'm using it as a trailer to promote my Friday Night Live show, and I'll post
Okay.
it. I found that like posting it Sunday night, at least for my crowd, gets far more views than any other time, like 20 versus 600.
That's interesting.
Yeah, for my crowd. And I know from the Facebook analytics, at least I used to find them, I have kind of two spots in the
Okay.
day that my crowd tends to like to look for things, and one of them is late at night, like 11 p.m. And
Gotcha.
that was
Yeah.
like 8 or 9 a.m.
I
So
have some,
it's kind of this interesting.
yeah, I have some similar stats for email opens.
Ah,
Like when I send all my stuff out through Kartra, and Kartra keeps track of all the stats for your email.
yeah.
And it's got my stats for open rates, and my highest open rates by far are on the weekends. So, like if I ever want to do something that I want to make sure people see, I'll send the email out on the weekend because that way
Got it.
it's top of their mailbox and I know they're looking right then and there. So,
So I'll be ready for my credits, but we have to talk about that because of the way my account's set up.
okay, yeah, I remember that. No problem.
Right, right. Thank you very much. Those are my questions.
All right. Gregory, you had something going there?
Yes, I've made my first official submission to a university who's looking for a chat box. And I'm going like, you guys are looking for a chat box? No problem. I went to their website. I signed in. I've what I want to share with the group is that in submitting something to an institution, they have like a third party gatekeeper. So this particular company had a thing called Angie something, which take me to a site called Jagger, Gagger. Got registered there. After I was registered there, then I was able to go back to the university and make the submission of the RSP for submission to their chat box, which is due. Their deadline is April 15th. So I won't know anything until April 15th. But the point was that once I got through those loops, it was an easy process for the submission. It was like, oh, name, address, phone number, name of company, name of your website, and drop in your capability statement. Done. And it was
Oh,
like, okay, that was cool. So now I'm hunting for more opportunity to see if what's out there. But the thing that I'm running into at the search engine, the company I'm using, or is um when I'm looking, like I say, I put in chat box and I got only one hit, but I'm going through Quantum now and looking at the various. I got Quantum here in the back screen now, and looking at the various titles and see if I can get those to trigger more outcomes. But I just wanted to share that with the group. Also, something else discovered. There's a thing called there is a thing called DUNS, Dun and Bradstreet's number system.
yeah.
The U.S. government, SAM.gov, if you want to make contracts with the government agency, you got to go to sam.gov and get registered. When you go to get registered with them, they don't accept that anymore. They accept a thing called UEI, and UEI is generated by the SAM.gov, and the SAM.gov, when you go to another edit, this morning I went to another place to make a submission, and it said, "What's your UEI number?" Universal Employer Identification. That's I think what it stands for. The bottom line was I didn't remember my number, so and we started our call at 11. So when I finish the call, I'll go back and get my number. But the thing that's something else for the group to be aware of when you're submitting to institutions like banks and universities and government, you got to have what they also call a North American Code Industry System. It goes by the initials of I'll put it in the chat. It's NACIS. Like my number
ICS.
is. Oh, thank you, there, thank you. So my number is 541-613. So some places when you submit a proposal, even private, I'm running into with private companies too. They're looking for that number. So once you get to know your number, then you'll be able to put that number in there.
Yeah, that's like a business category code.
Right. We talked about that several months ago when I first got it, and you said, "What do you need that for?" Well, it's coming out that now it's popping up more and more in requirement. So
Yeah.
it just identifies your industry. So that's what I wanted to share that with the group, and moving forward to more success, guys. Bye.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's one of the things that when you get on those lists, you have the potential of getting some very large contracts from those. But in a lot of cases, they're kind of a pain in the ass because of all the paperwork. You have to go through all the bureaucracy, and sometimes they want you to get a vendor number. And to get a vendor number, you got to jump through all these hoops and sign up for all this stuff. And I've actually seen some organizations that create their own vetting process that you have to go and pay to go through to get the number. And they put it out there, and get thousands of people to go pay them to get on the list, and then they don't use any of them. It's just a money scam. But I have you guys are gonna probably laugh at me, but I've got a new tool I'm working on again. And this one I think is going to be really, really not only beneficial, but I think it's going to be uh, of great interest to all of you guys, because you've heard me over the years say that I get most of my business. And when I say most, I'm going to pretty much say all of my business through referral sources by hunting an influencer that has a list of my prospects. They've spent a ton of money and time over the years building that list, and I can get them to use that list to promote me. And it's super easy to do, because you contact that influencer and you basically, it's like you're playing let's make a deal. It's like, hey, I've got something really valuable for your list. And if you bring this to your list, I'll put money in your pocket. Anybody that gives me money, I'm going to share that with you. And I usually give them 50%. In some cases, I'll give them even more. And like if you've got a front end and a back end, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Front end and back end is really, really important. But if you have a front end, that's like your initial sale. And then on the back end, you have recurring revenue or other things, upsells, other products to sell. You don't need to make money in a lot of cases on the front end product. You could literally give it away or give all that money to your affiliate to incentivize them. Because what happened there is, let's say you make no money on the front end sale. You've acquired a customer. That a customer might have a lifetime value of literally thousands of dollars. So if that's the case, do you care if you make money on the front end, if you're going to make thousands on the back end? Let the affiliate make that money up front. So they'll be incentivized to to build client acquisition for you. It's like they're giving you thousands of dollars. Just smile and say thank you. You know, don't try and fight them for it. If it's a negotiation, just give them whatever they want. I'll offer 50% right out of the gate. And usually the way I do it is I say, I traditionally pay 50% up front and then I pay 25% on the back end, ongoing recurring. That's a pretty good deal for most affiliates. But sometimes you'll get an affiliate that's kind of greedy. They're like, oh, well, what if I want 60%? And what I'll do is I'll say, how about I give you 90%? And you get 90% of the front, but I take the back. A greedy one will always do that. They're very short-sighted. They see the money on the front, they take the money and run, and I am perfectly fine with that. And when we're structuring our ClickBank deal, that's what we're doing. We're working on the copy and the text for that ClickBank deal, and it should get finalized this week and then put into play. But the deal is there, I agreed to give them 100% of the front end. So we're selling the Act Quantum bundle through ClickBank for $97 and then $47 a month. I'm giving the whole 97 to the affiliate, the whole shooting match. I make nothing on the front end, but I'm taking the whole back end. I'm taking that 47 a month forever. And, once people get into that, they typically are going to stay a long, long time because that's a very valuable ongoing tool. Plus they get access to the support call for 47 bucks a month. I mean, that's a lot of value. So that's kind of what we got going on. So anybody, like, I know there's a lot of people, especially starting out, they are not thinking about the back end. The back end is the most important piece of your business. If you don't have a back end, every time you make a sale, you start over. You have no base for income recurring revenue. None. All you have is whatever you make on a sale, and then you start over from scratch tomorrow. However much money you made today, just, when the clock hits midnight, the counter sweeps it and you start over. That to me sounds like a job. That's like putting yourself in a rat wheel. Every time I bring on a customer, it raises my income not only this month, but next month and the month after and the month after that. Basically forever, and until they fall off. Some people change direction. Some people will cancel out on your services. But the deal is your back end, and this is really key. You don't have to make the products for the back end. You can be an affiliate of someone else. Like if your product, let's say, I don't know, let's say just weight loss. Let's say you have a weight loss product and you take your person from 200 pounds to 150 pounds, right? Or whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. Let's say you get them to their goal. Whatever their goal is, could be something else. So I'm just using weight loss as an example. They get to that goal weight now, and all of a sudden now they don't need you anymore. They're done with your product. You have delivered. They paid you, you delivered, everybody's happy. But now they disappear. They're no longer paying you. So what your job is, whatever it is that you're doing on the front end, you need to figure out once you fulfill and your timeline is over, what's their next timeline? What do they want next? They're always going to want something next. I guarantee you, as human creatures, when we get what we want, or we get what we thought we wanted, what happens next? We want something more, right? You always want something after you get something. It's just human nature. You're never going to be happy. You're never, ever, ever going to just stop and say, hey, I have everything I'll ever want and need. I'm done. I'm good. That ain't never going to happen, right? I guarantee it. It's always going to want more. So all you have to do is figure out, okay, I took this person on their timeline from where they wanted to be to their desired outcome. Now I'm looking through my special goggles, looking at their future. What do they want next? Like if they just lost weight, what are they going to obviously need? New clothes, right? They might now be able to enjoy a more active lifestyle. They're going to be looking for all that kind of stuff. A lot of weight loss is driven by looking for a mate. There's all this kind of shit that you could possibly sell to them, and you don't have to create any of it. There's other people that have already done it. You just go out, and now the role is reversed. You have the list. They want your customers. You want their money. So now you're in a position. It's almost like when you save money, then you invest the money. The money now is making you money. That's what you're doing. You're investing in building your list. So you're selling your product, you're building your list, you're investing in your business, and now you want that investment to pay off. And that's where your list now can make money for you by promoting other people's products. The only thing I want to encourage you, I really want to encourage you to do this, but I also want to dissuade you from doing another thing, and that's just selling anything. Don't sell shit, right? You will hang yourself, right? You'll have a very short back end if you do that because people won't trust you. If you become the trusted source, they'll buy over and over and over. You know, my famous story that goes back 20 years was the woman with the maternity dresses. And I've told this over and over and over, and it's the perfect example of an 18-year funnel. You know, that kid is in her belly. We know what's going to happen, right? The kid's coming out. There's no way around it, right? We know the timeline. It's like we've got a crystal ball. As soon as the kid comes out, we know what the kid's going to need. That kid's going to need diapers. That kid's going to need baby food. That kid is going to need a whole onslaught of stuff. And we know it. If you don't, just ask Perplexity. You know, what are the products that a newborn is going to need? It'll give you a whole laundry list. And then you could say, who provides those products that has an affiliate program? And it'll give you the list. Then just go contact them. This stuff doesn't have to be hard. This stuff is really simplistic in nature. It's just nobody thinks about it this way. Nobody's thinking about like how many of you guys get up in the morning thinking about your back end? Right? You're generally thinking sell my stuff front end. You're never thinking about the back end. The back end, I guarantee, is where all the money is. That's the bank vault that most of you will never get into. I'm hoping I can change that because really that's where the money is. Money's in the back end. Money, they talk about it, it's like a cliche. The money's in the list. Well, they say that, but they never explain it to you, right? It's like, this was a great one that goes back to a story. I don't know if it's true or not, but this story has been told in the marketing world for a long time about the Beatles. You know, they were sitting around and they were all broke. You know, this happens a lot of times with musicians is they'll have a hit, they'll have an album, they'll have a tour or whatever. They make a shitload of money and then they go blow it like crazy people and then it's gone, right? They're broke again. Well, this had happened to them at one point in their career, and they were sitting around and it was hot. They didn't have air conditioning. They were sweating their balls off. And I think it was either John Lennon or Ringo said, we need a pool. Let's write a pool. And the other one's like, what do you mean, let's write a pool? He goes, let's write a song. The song will pay for the pool. Let's write a pool. So They basically created money out of thin air because they had a list. They had millions of fans. That is a list. All they had to do is create a new piece of content, and that was their pool. So you can literally have anything you want if you have a list. That's the moral to the story. If you have a list, you can have anything you want. You just create value for the list. You bring the value to the list, and the money comes back to you. And then you go buy whatever you want. Whatever you want, you can have it. So that's, and again, I don't know if that story is true, but that story has been floating around marketing for a very long time. And I think it's a cool story. I think even if it's not true, I think it has a lot of value just in the learning lesson of the story itself. So I continue to say it, to tell it. But anyway, is back to this product that I think you guys are going to be really interested in. It's a product that searches social media and will find you influencers. It will literally find you an influencer in any niche. You can put in the parameters of how big a following you want them to have, and then it will scour up and get you their email address. So you can reach out to them and you can say, hey, I'm so and so. You might want to actually follow them and go in and like be active in their communities. So you can come back and say, hey, I'm part of your community. I've been following you. I love what you're doing. I have a product that I think the community would be really interested in. If you'd like, I can do a webinar for you. We can provide tremendous value to your users, and I'll put 50% in your pocket of anything I sell. That's a really good strategy. And, I've been telling you guys for years, that is how I've always done it. I just never had, AI to go and dig this information up for me. I'd have to.
Which one is that?
This is one that we're working on.
Okay.
We'll probably be releasing it within the next 2 weeks for sure.
Amazing.
And yeah, you will literally be able to put in what niche you want, how big an audience you want, and you only want ones that have emails, open emails to the public. So it'll get you that list, then you can go through, contact them, and I guarantee you this is a better route than signing up for people's podcasts that don't have audiences. There is a lot of that going around. And it's, having a podcast, if you don't have an audience for you to do a podcast, can give you a lot of credibility and authority, and it's a great thing to do. But here's the thing, if you have a product and you want to sell it and you value your time and you don't want to waste time, maybe you don't have time to waste, going on podcasts that there's no audience is not going to sell your products. If you need credibility, great. It does that. It gives you something that you can show to people. It shows you've done podcasts, you've been interviewed. You can put the logos on your site. But I'm talking about sales. If you want to sell your stuff, you are not going to sell it in empty audiences. You need to find somebody that literally has your audience and can bring you and endorse you to the audience. And that's what I'm creating, building that tool to find you those influencers that have those audiences. They might not have podcasts. They might not need podcasts. They're probably already very well established and they have a big list. They have a big group of followers. What they need is they need money. They have spent their hard-earned time and money to build that list, and now they want that list to pay off. So when you approach them, you are exactly why they did it. You're exactly what they're looking for, and you make it easy for them. So that is a really good strategy, and it's worked really, really well for me over the years. Arba, go ahead.
Hi, John.
Hi.
I just want to give you your flowers since you're here today
Oh,
I said this on the other call that Brady did, but since you said he can't find the recording, you didn't get to hear what I said. So, I was listening to a previous recording. I was like trying to catch up, to go
yeah.
back and listen on a YouTube record. And you were just doing a teachable moment like you're doing now. And you had like very frankly said that how you need to, there's so many tools that you need to just find um an opportunity. And even if you don't have the solution, make the solution. It was like an older video or something like that. So anyway, I was on a one-to-one with someone and she had just wrote a book and she had said that she needed to launch the book and she really didn't have a marketing plan. And I said, so you just need somebody to help you with your marketing plan and launch the book? And she was like, yeah. I said, I can do that. I have never worked with an author to launch a book, but because she said she needed that, I said, I can do it. She said, okay. And so,
That's
away
awesome.
I went and I charged her. I mean, I was just like, well, I'll tell you what. I said, you pay me by the hour because I'm just like making this up because I
Yeah,
remember listening to what you were saying on how and you just make it up as you go and I said well just pay me by the hour for strategy sessions
sure.
and I literally just used chat how how do you do a book launch and I can't all of this and so we kept going along with it and so I'm still working with her on doing this book launch
That's
and
awesome.
yeah, so I want to thank you for that. That was something I would have never thought of to, just
Yeah.
do what it is the customer is asking for and figure it out as you go.
Yeah, a lot of my products I've built that way. I literally just ask, like, what do you want? And this is one I've always struggled with this. I think probably most of you do. When somebody asks you what you do, I have trouble with that. And I've always struggled with that one because I'm still trying to figure out who I want to be when I grow up, you know? But what I came to not too long ago, and I think it works really, really well. Somebody will ask me, "What do you do?" And I say, well, "What do you need?"
That's what I did.
Yeah,
That's how I got that sale.
that's awesome. That
Yeah.
has worked for me over and over and over. That is classic.
Well, thank you again.
Absolutely. Yeah, anything that you need, just come on, come on this call. That's what this is for. I rarely have an agenda. Like when I open this call up, very rarely is there an actual agenda or I've created materials to present. It's not like that. I come on here, to basically help anybody with whatever you need help with. And, if nobody comes on, I just take off on whatever angle suits me and we go from there.
Can I be honest that that's why when I said let me try to catch up with what this whole internet dominators and all of this is and I listened to a previous recording and you were just like kind of just rambling. I was like, what the heck? This dude is just I was like, he don't have no agenda, no training. But I just said, let me just listen. And I kept working and you were just dropping all kinds of nuggets. And then I told my husband, I said, I just listened to this guy, it was pretty interesting. And I told him, and then when I told him it worked. So you never know.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is I've got so much knowledge from so many customers that I've worked with over the years that I've probably forgotten more than I know consciously. But the deal is, when you ask me a question, I might be pulling it from 40 years ago. It's all there. It's all in my head. It's just I would never think to bring it forward until I'm asked.
Yeah.
So never be afraid to ask me anything. I've probably experienced it throughout my career somewhere. I've been in so many different things, and so there's a lot rattling around between my ears that all I need is a question to access it. So Sharon, go ahead.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. My question is, I'm just joining. I think I joined last month, but I'm actually just getting on. So I'm in the process of actually, my husband and I are writing a book on based on trucking and marriage and all of that because we've been in trucking for a long time and we've been married actually the 37th of March of last month. We're at 32 years that we've been married. So thank you. So it's a lot that we can actually contribute to people, people that's been married for a while. So I've been studying different things and now I'm ready to just dive into what I need to do. We're actually going to be working, I'm actually working on our first book. So we want to be able to see what is it that we need to do. Been hearing that, you need to get a tribe together first before you launch your book. But I also know it's important to deal with the marketing. So what tips, I guess, can you give me or which direction do I need to go into first?
Okay. So is the book like your main product?
For right now, yes. I do want to create some apps, and that's why I joined your group. Um,
Okay.
Create some apps to go along with that because of course in trucking as well, my biggest fight has always been all of those receipts that I have to scan and deal with. So I would love to create an app to be able to pull all of that information in together because I haven't found an app that does that, dealing with, I don't know if you're familiar with com data, of course your banking and all of that. So pulling all of that stuff together, I want to call it a mess, pull all that stuff together to be able to just be able to create a good app where you can spit out some reports and send it to your CPA.
Okay. Yeah, you might check Chris McLean, he's in the group here. He's doing a thing for married couples trying to deal with their finances. It's like it's like budgeting without having a budget, and he teaches a class on that. I'm pretty sure he's got access to some kind of an app where you can do that. You can scan all the receipts and do that because that's part of his program. He basically tells people, he goes, I don't want you to create a budget. He said, I want you to just spend like a drunken sailor, just like you're doing now, but keep track of it so you can look at it. And basically, the idea is you keep track of it for a month. And then at the end of the month, you look at all the crap that you bought and you don't need a budget. You just self regulate. You're like, oh, okay, I can see where the money's going where it shouldn't be going. And that's kind of the gist of his course. And it's really cool. And supposedly it works really, really well. And I could totally see how. So he might be somebody that you might reach out and have a conversation with, see if somehow what he's doing might correlate with you. Maybe he might be part of your back end after you sell your book, or maybe you look at what he's doing and model it, and then that could be your product, your back end. But it's really important. Like with a book, if all you have is a book and it's a dead end, you're going to sell so many books and then you're going to hit the end and it's going to expire. Basically, the shelf life of your business will expire at that point unless you just have a massive amount of new people coming into that arena constantly, which you might, like that's a case with diet's a perfect example of an evergreen, never-ending flow of new customers because you've got probably 10 different points in any given year that could trigger somebody wanting to lose weight. A birthday, an anniversary, all of the holidays. swimsuit season. You got all these trigger points throughout the year that would spur someone to want to do that. So you have a flood of new customers constantly over and over and over. If that's the case, then one product might do it for you, but it's not the norm. And it's not what I recommend. I recommend multiple income streams, even if they're not your own. That's the way as an entrepreneur you build a safety blanket around you. Like I've had customers in the past that had an item that all of a sudden something changed in the economy and all of a sudden that item was no longer wanted or needed. This is the case with luxury. Like if you're selling luxury items and all of a sudden the economy takes a radical downturn, all of a sudden luxury items go out the window. That's the first thing that gets cut. So all of a sudden they're sitting there and they got no business and they're like, uh-oh, now what? If they had multiple streams of income coming from all these different directions, they wouldn't have that worry. And when the downturn took place, they can just take a break. They can just take a breather and then look at other opportunities and build more income. They're not dependent on that one stream. But I would say, like, if the book is your main thing and that's what you're trying to get off the ground, it's like any other product. It literally is. You're going to need to sell it. So you're going to have a presentation. The book isn't just going to fly off the shelves. I don't care what anybody's told you. Sales are difficult. This is the biggest stumbling block that most businessmen, businesswomen, and entrepreneurs make, is they underestimate the job of making a sale. They literally underestimate how difficult it is to get someone to pay for something. That's not easy. I very few products have just off the shelf demand enough for people to just want to buy them and actually go ahead and proceed and do buy them. It is a process to get someone to purchase your product, especially in this day and age. Like none of us really have anything unique. There's nothing really truly unique. We're all packaging something that is available somewhere else and trying to sell it. And a lot of markets are huge. There's room for new products. But again, the job of the sale is not easy. You're going to have to follow a procedure to get them to exchange money for value. And it follows the ACT program. That's why I created the ACT program. It's the roadmap for making sales by using marketing. Because I don't know about you, but I don't like sales. I do not like presenting my product and asking for an order. That is the least appealing thing in my day. And if I got up in the morning thinking, wow, I'm going to have to go out and make sales today, I'd probably just pull the covers up and just hide out. I don't know if I'd even get out of bed if that was my deal. But the cool thing about marketing, when you figure out marketing and you create like a home run marketing campaign, that makes sales irrelevant because it's doing everything that a salesman would do, but it's doing it on autopilot. And it comes down to the fact that when your marketing campaign does what it's supposed to do, the sales will come in and then it will be easy. But it's by no means easy without that. And making that marketing campaign is by no means easy, but it's well worth the effort. And it's a pretty simple process. It goes like this. The first job is to grab their attention. Obviously, prior to grabbing attention, you've got to do the analysis on the market segment. You have to understand what drives that person so you can grab their attention. If you don't do the A part of ACT, that's the analysis, you can have a really hard time selling anything. Because that analysis tells you what segment of the market you're targeting, what's the most profitable segment, and who specifically in there is your ideal customer. That's if you go into the Quantum suite, there's a tool called Build a Buyer. And right to the left of that Build a Buyer tool, there's one called Market Segmenter. That is where you literally would start. You want to segment your market, figure out what the most profitable segment of the market is, and then take that data to the Build a Buyer tool and figure out who your ideal customer is. It'll give you so much detail. It's like it puts you inside their head. You can know what they're thinking at that point. And with that data, now you know what's important to them. Now you can create a lead magnet that will grab their attention and bring them into your funnel. Once you've grabbed their attention, the next job, this is where your presentation comes in. Either you're going to give them a long form sales page, or you're going to do a webinar or a video sales letter or something. Some people like to do a schedule and then they want to talk to them. I would prefer just to make the sales than have a bunch of conversations and do sales presentations. But some people love that. That's fine. But it's a presentation no matter how you slice it. And the job of the presentation is to create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make an offer. If you do those things, those four pieces, if you can grab their attention, create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make an offer, that funnel is going to make you money. That funnel is going to sell your stuff. I don't care if it's a book or a, a painting or a house or a village. I don't care what it is. That is what's going to make the sale. And outside of that, there's not really a lot going on. A lot of people underestimate, like I said, they underestimate the job of making a sale. And when you do that, it really costs you time and it costs you money, because you're sitting back and you're thinking, oh, well, sales are going to come in. I don't have to try. I've done my thing. I built this thing. It's great. It should fly off the shelves. Well, I ain't gonna. I'm here to tell you, it's not going to happen like that. And every second you sit back and those sales aren't coming in, that's a day of your life that you're not going to get back. Right? I mean, the reason we're here is for freedom. It's not to sit around in a jail cell. And that's what you're doing when you sit back waiting, expecting things to happen that aren't going to happen. You're literally burning a day of your life. And I can assure you, when you get I don't know how long you're going to live. I don't know, how long you're going to make it. I don't know how long any of us are going to make it. But when we get to that last day and we know it, we know, okay, this is it. We're looking back on our life. You're going to want those wasted days back, and they're not going to be there. There's no way to get it back. So time is the only thing we can't buy more of. It's precious. Don't waste it. Don't waste sitting around wondering, oh, should I do this? You should absolutely do it. You should do it with all your might as fast as you can. So,
Well, I guess what I didn't add to that is we do want to build a community, because we want to do some coaching or
okay.
mentoring rather. So that would be one aspect of it. Like
Okay.
I said, the aspect was, to build we're just starting with the book, building the apps that could go along with,
Sure.
figuring out, the different areas that we could build an app to help people.
Yeah,
So
building a community is a great way to go, because once you've got the community and they're engaged, it's super easy to bring them new products, even if they're not your products, and make money off of them. I would encourage you, though, if you're going to build a community, don't take the easy way and go and build it on Facebook. Don't use someone else's platform to build your community. Build your own community. Maybe you build a free community on Facebook, but it's your free version of the community, and all it is just a lead generator. Don't put your good stuff on there and have that be your home. Have your home be your private community where people pay to get in the gate and then they pay to stay in the gate. That's where all your value is. You can drop those nuggets out in the free zones, but you're pulling them into yours. They want to become part of your tribe, not a Facebook tribe. I see people, make that mistake all the time. And all these social media platforms, they're very finicky. They might love you today, but then all of a sudden tomorrow they might decide they don't like you and they'll just kick you out. So that that's a very, very dangerous place to build your house. You're building it on quicksand.
So would it be similar to maybe building, and this would be my last question because I know you have other people waiting, but maybe like doing something, a membership thing on YouTube or
There's
something.
no, you want to build it on your own domain.
Okay.
So there's a lot of software out there. There's WordPress plugins where you can do it. I use Kartra myself. I run my membership site on Kartra. It's a great program to run your business on. But you can do it like if you have a WordPress site, there's different plugins you can do to manage communities on there. But like I said, I use Kartra and it works phenomenally for that. And it's built right in. You can do the payment gateway. You can take payments to allow access. It's really a cool program. If you need help with that, we've got videos inside the members area where I go through and I show you how to build that. And I've actually got templates for it that will help you get up and going if you decide you want to use Kartra. Because you could literally take a template of my whole business and put it into yours and just reframe it, rebrand it, and off you'd go.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. All right. Is it Shima?
Yes, Kima.
Kima. Okay. Hey, how's it going? I saw you come into the community. Welcome,
Yes,
welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I've been following you online and I'm so happy to be able to meet you, to eventually chat with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I signed up for Acquisition Air and I've been on it for about 2 to 3 weeks. I got
Okay.
the white label, but I would need help on how to go about it.
Okay.
I've set up the back end. I followed the instructions, but there's still a lot, especially the landing page. Um, and also, if there's anyone in the group that I can tag along with, you know, and general guidance, so I can start to make at least my first sale.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we've got Brady really specializes in that platform. I think he's on here today. And then we've also got Connie. Connie runs our support system.
Okay.
She actually knows more about the system than I do. And Brady's out ahead in the lead on her. So we've got some really good support for you as far as that goes.
Okay.
I would reach out to them, maybe schedule a session. I know Connie does she has one thing where she charges for it to actually go in and help you set your account up and get you all up and running. Uh,
Okay.
I know Brady's very helpful with that stuff, depending on what you need help with. But Connie does a lot of strategy stuff too.
Okay.
So she's really good with that. The thing with Acquisition Air, though, I want you to know that you can hear it from the horse's mouth here. Um, it is it's an email program, like you're getting leads to email them, and they are, even though they're what we were considering at first, we were considering them as hot leads because it's somebody that's actually searching for that keyword right now and you're getting their email. So when we first started promoting it, we were promoting it as these are hot leads. What we found in the actual implementation is we found they don't act like hot leads because they don't know you. You
Okay.
know, a hot or a warm lead is somebody that has, experience with you, and they're much easier for trust and credibility and all that stuff. With these, you're reaching out to the person and it's for the right reason at the right time, but the credibility and the authority is not going to be there. So it's a game of cold email marketing. And I've only really come across a handful of people that are really good at that. So just understand that you're probably not going to get them to respond on the first email. You've got to have really, really good subject matters to get them to open the emails because they don't know you. Like they see the email and they don't know you. So they're almost like, oh, well, yeah, is it spam? Is it a scammer? There's a lot of that. There's a lot of distrust in email. So just understand that going in. The people that have had success with it, they're really good at the email communication. They're really good at the follow up, and they're absolutely relentless.
Okay.
They'll keep emailing and keep emailing and keep emailing. Like we've got, it works really well in the realtor space, but you got to keep emailing them so they keep seeing your name and seeing your name. And even if they don't know you, then all of a sudden they feel like they do because they've seen you so many times and you've
Okay.
got such good headlines. So it's one of the more difficult marketing ploys to pull off. It's a really
Right.
good one when it works. The other side of it is that was the search leads. That was talking about the search lead functionality of the program. On the other side, there's a part to acquisitionaire that is called site leads.
Yeah.
That's where you put the code on your website and then you can get the information of people that are coming to your site. Those leads are going to probably be a lot warmer because they've heard of you, they've been on your site, they know who you are. But where we've seen the best results, and I never in a million years would have thought this when we started this, is they're building those lists. They'll get like 1,000 people that have come onto their website, and then they take that to a social media platform and they create a lookalike audience for running
Mm-hmm.
ads. That we've seen really good results on the people that are doing that.
Okay.
So, and if you're doing this for yourself, you just need to know how it works and need to know the nuances of it. If you're doing it for others, know that lookalike audiences are really valuable. And most people can't create them because they don't know how. They don't have a list that they can upload. So this is a way that you could potentially build a lookalike audience for them.
Okay.
And they'll pay a lot of money for that. Or if you're like a Facebook ads guy, you could offer that as a service to your customers. Say, hey, I can build a lookalike audience off of your traffic, and it converts like way better than just cold ads in Facebook. So there's a lot of opportunity with that with acquisitionaire, but it's not a laydown. I'll tell you that. It's not one where you just get in and the money starts flowing.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, I would reach out to Brady and Connie and see what they can offer you. If you've got specific questions about, what to do, they're really good with the platform.
Okay. So how good is it with agents like marketing agencies and lead gen companies? Yeah.
If you have a lead gen company that knows cold email, it's very valuable.
Okay.
If you like, that's what I told everybody. I said, hey, if you want to sell leads, find a lead gen company that does cold email. That's their thing. They know how to do it. They're looking for leads and, sell them the leads. You
Okay.
collect the leads over here for one price, you mark it up and sell it to them, and you're making money in the middle, and you don't have to be responsible for making the sales and the follow-up emails and all that stuff that, you may or may not be good at.
Okay.
I know for me, I'm not really that great at, I'm not good at all, in fact, in cold email. That's just something I never mastered.
Okay.
I'm great at the warm stuff. You know, you put me on a webinar and endorse me to your audience, and they're going to fall in love with me. But I struggle with getting them to fall in love with me off a cold email.
Yeah. Okay, so can I do a Facebook lookalike audience for lead gen companies so I can target them for myself and sell to
Yeah.
them?
Yeah. If the thing is, though, you have to be attracting them to your website to do that. If you have a website that lead gen companies are going to, then absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. You have to have the traffic of the type of audience that you want to market to. You
Okay.
can't just create a lookalike audience of generic traffic. It won't work.
No, I'm talking about using the list from the search leads to
Oh,
generate.
if you can get them, yeah, the thing is you've got to send them an email and they've got to click the email to go to your website.
Okay. Okay.
So you could
So
do
you
that.
have a way of getting
Or
their first lead.
actually, I hadn't. Yeah, actually, you can do that. I was just thinking some other direction, but yeah, now that I think about your actual question, you absolutely could take the search leads and turn those into a lookalike audience.
Okay.
Because we had somebody that was one of the first people that figured that out was doing that, and they did it for the diabetic industry. They were selling diabetic supplies and they were creating the lookalike audiences for Facebook. And he was giving us his stats. He was just killing it with that. So that's definitely a way to go.
Okay.
It's actually a great idea too, because if you don't have the traffic on your site, you
Yeah.
can go and you can get the site traffic or the search traffic. It's the same thing.
Okay.
Hey, John, just one other thing to mention too is Exact Digital. You're welcome to go back and listen to the webinar we had about a month ago now, a partnership that we made with a programmatic ads company that can help you with a lot of this as well. I'll put the link in the chat. You can check that out and book a meeting with Kinsey. The meeting's free. Obviously, just see what they have to offer with the programmatic ad space if cold email is not the only thing you want to offer. And we definitely recommend kind of an omni-channel presence, if you will, with using acquisition air, not just the cold email piece.
Okay. I've
Yeah,
booked the
that.
session we have. I have a session we have tomorrow.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's Brady that was talking there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I
So
wanted to chime in a little earlier, but I was on the phone. So I was trying to listen at the same time. But um, the Exact Digital is definitely a good strategy, in my opinion, to have them kind of work with you for you,
okay.
but also use the acquisition air leads or use what they have as well as a traffic source too. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Brady too, while you're on, have we uploaded that video into the acquisitioner training so people have access to it there and the link to schedule with Kinsey?
the acquisition air trainings, yes, is on the support side. It's on our YouTube page. The one
Okay.
thing that I was actually you mentioned, I'll say is I think it would be good to have on the actual Internet Dominators website also as a strategic partner with a link there too that people can come even if they come off of
Okay.
Google search or something. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that. Just shoot me the info over and I can plug it in there.
okay.
With all of our new products, I'm gonna probably have to do a revamp of the whole Internet Dominator site now. We've got all this new stuff and it
Out with the old, in with the new, right?
oh my God, things are changing so much, it's crazy. I can't even keep up with myself. I'm gonna have to like go take a vacation and give myself a break.
The other question I have is for the white label, do you have a full entire funnel for selling it for white label?
We do, but it's branded to the acquisition air. Like that's
Okay.
one of the templates that we have in Kartra. I took our entire funnel for acquisition air and turned it into a template. But
Okay.
you would literally have to go through and, change out the
Yeah.
acquisition air to your white label. Yeah.
Okay. Although I use Go High Level, so can I get search in Go High Level?
You could, you just have to rebuild it in there. I
Okay.
don't think the Kartra template is compatible with Go High Level. They kind of have their own mousetrap strategies.
Yeah, it's just something I can see. If there's a way I can see the funnel, so I can know what to build.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure inside the training area for ACT, if you go under the tabs, there's a resources tab, and I believe there's a Kartra training tab under the resources. And scroll down. I don't think it's the top one. In
Okay.
fact, let me take a look here real quick. Okay. Kartra training videos. Yeah, let me share my screen. I'll show you where this is. Okay, so under resources, you go to the Kartra training,
Okay.
and then over here you have ultimate funnel. If you click on the ultimate funnel, this is our acquisition funnel right here.
Oh, okay.
So it's got the whole thing, and then there's a video here kind of walking you through all the pieces. If you're a
Okay.
Kartra owner, there's the share code for the Kartra template. You could
Okay.
literally load this thing right into your Kartra account and edit it.
Okay.
So, and then here, this is a Perplexity session where you can actually see my thought process of going through with the AI of how this whole thing was built,
Okay.
which is really cool. So this right here is a whole lesson learning for building a funnel front end to back end all the way
Okay.
through. So there's a lot to be learned from just from this lesson right here.
Mm.
But I think this is exactly what you're looking for as far as
Yeah.
for acquisitionaire.
This is good. Okay.
And there's other stuff here. There's the free lead magnet
Magnet.
funnel for
Okay.
the Franken AI. That's got the share code for it. This initial one up here, this is showing somebody else was asking, I think it was Sharon asking about a membership site. This is the funnel for the membership site.
Okay.
This is like we called it a digital course, but it's delivered in a membership site. So it's
Okay.
the blueprint to selling a digital course. And as you go through, there's videos down here of every step of the process. Like here's the intro to the blueprint. Here's
Mm.
setting up the DNS for it, setting up the lists and the tags, the help desk, the calendar system, the actually creating the products in Kartra,
Okay.
setting up the actual membership site, setting up opt-in pages,
Mhm.
thank you pages, the form, the actual form they fill out,
Okay.
the sales page, the follow-up sequence. I mean, it's a lot of information here. I
Okay.
literally went through and built this thing right before your very eyes in Kartra, and that's all these videos. That's what
Okay.
these are.
So if I subscribe to Katra, I can just get the snapshot.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what those little share codes are.
Okay.
So yeah,
This
that
is
is
really good.
definitely available to you. I have an affiliate link for Kartra if you want to get it.
Yep.
You can use my affiliate link.
Yeah, sure.
I make all my affiliate links really easy. They all start with internetdominators.com, and that one's
Okay.
/ Kartra.
Okay.
Aartra. So
Okay.
super simple. And you know, if you have trouble with Kartra, I know Kartra like the back of my hand.
Okay.
There's probably few people around that know Kartra as well as I do outside of the Kartra people themselves.
Wow.
I can help
Okay.
you, you know, if you get stuck on anything, you can
Okay.
just hop in here and I can screen share and show you how to do it.
Okay.
So happy to do that.
Okay.
So, all right. Anything else?
One last question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Jill.
Um, I put it in the chat. I am reformatting my book. And changing the pictures because they're just, although they're in P and G, it's all a mess, the spacing. Are there any apps that I can take the final copy and put it in there and try and reformat it?
You could probably do that in Perplexity.
Okay.
What I do, like if I wanted to write a book, like let's say I just wanted to start from scratch, here's another thing you can do. If you already have your book
It's
done,
already done. Because it
so
was printed once before, but we don't like how it was printed and the images were never edited.
gotcha. Okay. Yeah, usually that kind of a program is going to be like a publisher type program where you're editing from within, but you can create all those images in Quantum. You can create phenomenal images and then just drop them in. I don't know that there's an AI program specifically off the shelf that's made to do that for like the formatting. Um, Typically that's a human process to like place things and put them where you
Yeah.
want them and all that. Um, there is Gamma, but I don't think Gamma is going to work real well for that particular application. But Gamma makes absolutely beautiful presentations or even websites. Like you can go in there and say, design me a website for, whatever you want, and it'll make you a beautiful design. You can hand that to a designer and off they go.
Okay.
They should be able to replicate that. But like I've had a lot of people ask me about making a book, and I said, well, it's easy, either a book or a presentation. If you go into Perplexity and you tell it you want to write a book, it's lazy. It's not going to write the book for you, or even a webinar. It's not going to do it effectively. But how you can do it really effectively is you say, I need to make a presentation or write a book or whatever. You give it the broad strokes and say, I need help with creating the structure. What should the segments be, or what should the chapters be if it's a book? And it'll write you the outline, and it'll do it, beautifully. If it didn't, tell it, you're disappointed. You thought it was better than that.
Right.
And once you get it where it's really good, lock it in, say, okay, this is great. I want to work with this structure. Now I need help filling in all the chapters. Let's start with chapter 1. I need the content for chapter 1, the way it should go verbatim. And then it will do that chapter. But if you tell it to do the whole book, it's not going to do it. It's going to cheat. It's just going to give you like blurbs. But if you break it down piece at a time, you can literally get it to write the whole book as fast as you just tell it, okay, now chapter 2, now chapter 3, now chapter 4. And it'll do it really, really well.
Okay.
And then from there, what you can do, you can pull that out. You can turn that into videos. You can use AI to turn that into videos, voiceovers. You can create a massive amount of content out of that body of work.
Now, what about the images? If like you have an image from an old image that was taken Polaroid or whatever, and you want to make it look good, is there a
Yeah.
program for that?
So what I do, like when I'm having Perplexity write the book for me or write the presentation, I also tell it I need the image prompts for each section. And then it'll write me the image prompt, and I can drop that image prompt the into the Act Imager and create the images, and then just go back and plug them in.
Can I put my picture that I already have in Act Imager to fix it?
The only way to do that, there's no place for you to upload it, but what you can do is if you upload it online and you have a URL, you can reference a URL. You can say, this is the base image, and then tell it what you want it to do from there. And sometimes it will do a really good job from that. Sometimes you might have to ask it a few times to get it right, but that's really the only way to do that in Act Imager. The video product that I talked about last week that we're working on bringing that one out too, That one you will be able to upload an image and turn the image into a little short, like a anywhere from a 2 to a 15-second video. And what you could do, you could have the video done, and then you could take a screenshot of any of the frames of the video to get your still image.
Nice.
So like if it's a Polaroid, you upload the Polaroid and you just say, I want to turn this image into colorize it, or bring it to
That's what I need.
photorealistic. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You'll be able to do that with that product.
great. Thank you.
Absolutely. All
I
right.
got a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Is there like a training for AIO?
There is not yet. We're working on the training. All we've got so far for the AIO tools is the description boxes for them, pretty much kind of tell you what they are. And then each tool itself, when it gives you the output of the tool, it's the end of that. It's supposed to give you like somewhat of instructions of what to do with it. But as far as like, I need to make a training of the overall, like the overview of how all the tools plug into each other and the strategies and all that. I haven't got there yet. We're also working on the third piece to it. So ultimately we'll have the training, we'll have the GPT tools, which is the AIO Dominator, and then we'll have the third piece, which is the Rainmaker software. And the Rainmaker software is complete now. We're beta testing it. We've got a few beta test users in there, and it's pretty slick. What it does, it's just like with SEO, you have on page, you have off page, and then you have user signals. The Rainmaker software is to send the user signals into the AI in order to train the large language models on who should be recommended. Like for instance, it will open up a chat window with AI, and it'll say like, who's the best pizza in New York City? And then the results will come back. If it doesn't show our client, then it's going to ask back, say, well, why didn't you say, ABC Pizza over on 7th Street? We think they're the best, and here's why. Uh, Please consider them and let me know if you changed your mind. And if it comes back and it says, no, they're still not what I would recommend, then we go back and we say, what would we have to do to make them be the one you recommend? And then it'll give the blueprint. And then we put that in a report at the end of the month. So after this thing does its thing for a month, it'll spit back a report of what you need to do to fix it. And then you could take that back over to the AIO Dominator and use those tools to implement the strategy.
Okay.
So ultimately, that's the way it will work. We're just a ways from completion yet. So bear with us. It's a progress. It's a lot of work to get this thing cooking.
Okay. And in the ACT program,
Yes.
all the training is, I know this is the ACT, you say go through the ACT twice before doing the workbook,
Yes.
but the GPTs in there, are
So
they training on
that
those?
that is one thing. We do have the training on all the GPTs. If you go into the Quantum Suite, this is something I'm going to try and add here in the next week or so, is in the ACT training, I'm going to put the easy button. So we're going to have an easy button that takes you over to the tool in the Quantum Suite that actually does that work for you. Like we've got, the training on market segmentation. Well, that training is great. It gives you the knowledge of how to do it, but then the tool over in Quantum will actually just do it for you. So that's the easy button. Same thing like with the avatar. We've got really good avatar training to teach you the fundamentals and all that. But it's one thing to learn about the avatar. It's another to be able to build the avatar out. That's a lot of work. So we'll just send you over to the tool to build a buyer tool to be able to do that. So I'll be adding all the easy buttons in, and hopefully that'll make things a lot simpler for everybody.
Okay.
So that it?
John, are you seeing the trends everybody's doing on social? I've done quite a few with the making of the action figure and a car and thing.
Oh, I loved your action figure. That was classic.
Well, I'm everybody. Here's the catch. Everybody's asking me to do them for them now.
Oh, I was just going to ask you to do one for me.
No, well, here, I mean, you
Or,
kidding? I'm talking with someone right now, creating one for $100 a piece. But
awesome.
they're wanting, can you edit this? Can you edit that? I'm like, you can't edit because you have to rewrite the prompt every time.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's frustrating, but yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, John, I'll make one for you for $100.
Or I
And John, if you want to sell it, all right, I'll give you 50% affiliate commission.
absolutely. Oh, I would sell that all day long for you.
I was thinking if you help me make a thing in the we help us make a GPT with this. Maybe we sell this together.
Yeah, absolutely. That was really, really a cool product.
And that was done on my first one I did on Perplexity. The second one I did on ChatGPT.
Okay. What'd
So
you
it's not like it was some tool. No, it was just learning to write the prompt on. And the second one on my Facebook, I actually gave you the prompt, so you can copy my prompt and then edit it.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
Yeah, if you got it like that, we can probably put a tool in Quantum to do it.
let's talk about. Well, you'll be at Craig's this weekend. Can we talk? Let's
Yeah.
talk in person about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I just thought, and I mean, that thing of turning yourself into an action figure,
Mm-hmm.
and that is like a total credibility piece. It's like, in the real world, people that have authority and celebrity, that's what they do. They create action figures out of them.
Well, no. I have a guy, and I actually just met with him this morning who has a business making these.
Yeah, I bet.
Like, no, making real action
The
figures.
real one, yeah.
Yeah, of you. All right. You have to go to his studio to get it done. But he said he was telling me somewhere there's 67 people who have the studios across the country.
That's awesome.
So, and I'll bring the information with me to Craig's event and be sharing it. And once I have it here, maybe I'll share it on your call next week for everybody once I
Yeah,
get the information. But
yeah, that would be
it's not digital. It's an actual in-person thing you've got to do. So
the real deal. Huh? It's like, I mean, when you're out, let's say you're speaking on stage and you've got a freaking action figure. Come on now. It's total vanity, but people just see that and react to it. It's so cool. I think that's like 100-fold over having a book. Like, yeah, I wrote the book on
Well,
this
I
subject.
may
I
have
have a
Craig put
freaking
that as my
action
image
figure.
while I'm speaking because I'm not doing a PowerPoint.
That's classic.
Anyway, but yeah, we'll talk about it you and I'll talk about it over the weekend at Craig's.
You don't need a stinking PowerPoint. You got an action figure. Come on.
Well, I know there's the whole thing with speaking, and Craig and I talked about this in Nashville. A good speaker doesn't need a PowerPoint. They can do it with or without.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've seen me do very rarely
I've
do
seen you kick ass with anything.
yeah. Yeah, that is true. I just
And there's something about the way you are. And we were talking about this guy's event we were at in Nashville. He showed up in a hoodie and sweatpants. And there was a discussion. And I've actually seen guys from Shark Tank say, if you see a guy show up and he's in the back of the room and he's in t-shirts and shorts, all right, and the rest of the room has suit and ties, don't look to the guys with suit and ties.
yeah,
Look to the freaking guy who's able to wear whatever he wants. That man commands authority because he don't care. Yeah, he can
yeah.
afford to not care.
Yeah, I remember back in 2011 when I spoke at Glacier Kennedy, they all told me I had to wear a suit and tie, and I'm like, well, I guarantee you, I ain't gonna be no tie involved. But I did at least go out and I spent like $2,000 on a really nice suit and, a bunch of really nice clothes. And I go to Atlanta, and I was speaking on the third day. So I'm there and I wanted to see the crowd. I wanted to see the speakers and all that. So I'm there for 2 days, right? Nobody knew who I was. I kind of felt out of place. And the night before my presentation, I realized I forgot to give them my chip. So I jump out of bed and I just threw on my SEO Dominator sweatshirt and my shorts and my thongs. And I went down the elevator. And I swear to God, as soon as the elevator doors opened, they said, "Oh my God, there he is. He's here. He's here finally." And I'm like, "I've been here for 2 days. You just didn't recognize me." And it's like, that was it. I'm like, there ain't no way in hell I'm going on that stage wearing that crap. I went up there in my Dominator sweatshirt. And when the guy introduced me, he even introduced me as, "This is how you know this guy knows his shit, because he can get away with this." And I walked out the back door with $140,000 in sales for
And,
70.
and you guys don't know this is Zig Ziglar told me not to wear a suit. He told me not to. I mean, he told me not to wear a suit. He told me not to get a haircut, but I did because of time. But still, Zig was huge on just be yourself, all right? And you're going to do so much more by being yourself. And it's probably going to be part of my talk. I'm going to talk about this weekend. And so
Yeah.
many people aren't themselves online, and they're trying to copy every image that they have to do, and that's the reason they're failing. Yeah,
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm a perfect example of that.
yeah.
I mean,
So
I literally felt like a fish out of water for 2 days, and just threw in the towel on that whole idea. I'm like,
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
no, this ain't working.
All right. Well, I gotta check off. I gotta go work on this for somebody. Apparently now I'm getting paid $100 to make these prompts.
There you go. That's awesome. That is so cool. I'll make you a tool that'll make the prompts for you, and then
I know. Once we get that down, that's why I'm going to partner with you because heck, I can get it done faster for my $100. Yeah.
that's awesome. All right. Anybody else before we wrap up here? All right, guys. Well, I know a lot of you guys are going to Craig's group this weekend. I will see you there. I'll be there tomorrow and Saturday, and I think he's got me speaking Saturday afternoon. So we'll see you there, and everybody else, we'll see you guys next week. Let me know if you need me. Just shoot me an email. Have a great week, everybody. Thanks for
Thank
being here.
you.